In the heart of the southern Nigerian village of Itaquio, where the lush green hills met the calm flow of the Oso River, lived a young girl named Afia. She was the daughter of a master weaver, Oko, whose skill in turning the raw fibers of local plants into beautiful fabrics was known far and wide. The sounds of the village were always alive with the rhythmic clink-clink of Oko's loom, a sound that signified both a livelihood and a way of life. Yet, despite her family's stable existence, Afia always felt an emptiness, as though something was missing from her life. Her family's modest home was made from mud and thatch, with brightly painted walls and windows decorated with intricate patterns of woven reeds. Though the house was simple, it was warm and filled with the laughter of Afia's mother, F, who would sing sweet songs as she ground the corn, and the smell of freshly cooked yam, goat meat, and rich palm oil would always fill the air. But for Afia, there was always the yearning for something more, a life beyond the village, a life of grandeur and fame. Afia was beautiful, with the deep, glowing skin of her people and eyes that reflected the colors of the river at sunset. Yet, no matter how much her beauty was admired by the men of the village, it was her hands that captured the attention of everyone. Afia was a weaver like her father, and she had inherited his skill. The garments she wove were exquisite, each piece a work of art, bright colors intertwined with sacred symbols, stories of their people captured in thread. Yet, Afia felt she was destined for more than weaving. She dreamed of a life of riches, of living in the palace, surrounded by silks and jewels, and being courted by men of status. One fateful day, the village was abuzz with excitement. Ikon, the son of the Olu, the king and chief of the region, was coming to visit. Ikon had been away for many years, studying at the royal court, and now, as the heir to the throne, he was returning to meet with the elders and celebrate the harvest festival. The entire village seemed to vibrate with energy, preparing for his arrival. The men hunted game, the women prepared feast after feast, and the children ran in the streets, laughing and chasing each other. Afia's heart pounded as she heard the news. Ikon, the prince, the man she had only heard of in whispers, the one who would someday rule their land. He had been promised to a princess from another kingdom, but that didn't stop Afia from dreaming. In her mind, she imagined a life of luxury, wearing silks and precious beads, walking through the palace gardens with Ikon by her side. The night before the festival, Afia's father called her into the workshop. "Afia," he said, his voice serious, "I've been asked by the elders to prepare a special gift for Prince Ikon. I want you to weave the finest cloth you can. He is coming tomorrow, and this gift will show him the value of our work and our people." Afia's heart skipped a beat. This was it. This was her chance to show Prince Ikon her skill, and perhaps to win his favor. She set to work immediately, her fingers moving over the loom with practiced ease. Her mind, however, was elsewhere. She thought of the prince, of how he would praise her work, how he would fall in love with her. Each thread she wove was laced with the dream of a different life, a life that was bright, glittering, and full of possibilities. The hours stretched on. As the first light of dawn began to spill over the hills, Afia had finished weaving the cloth. It was a masterpiece, richly dyed in the colors of the earth, with golden thread running through the intricate patterns of birds, leaves, and rivers. It was a gift fit for a prince. Afia stood back, exhausted, but proud of what she had created. The festival day arrived, and the village came alive in a riot of color and sound. The air was thick with the scent of roasting meats and the low hum of the drums. Afia, in her best dress, a simple but beautiful garment her mother had sewn for her, held the cloth carefully in her arms and made her way to the festival grounds. When she arrived, her heart leapt in her chest. There, at the center of the gathering, stood Ikon, surrounded by a group of elders, wearing a royal garb of rich velvet and gold. His posture was regal, his gaze sharp and intelligent, but there was something deeply kind in his eyes. Afia's breath caught in her throat. She walked up to him, holding the cloth out before her. "Prince Ikon, this is a gift from our people," she said, her voice soft but filled with hope. "It is woven with the threads of our land, our culture, and our respect for you." Ikon turned to her, his eyes lingering on the cloth before meeting her gaze. "You are the daughter of the great weaver, Oko, I presume?" he asked, his voice deep and warm. Afia nodded, her heart racing. "This is beautiful," he said, running his fingers over the delicate patterns. "You are a skilled weaver, Afia. This cloth is worthy of the finest in the land." Afia's heart fluttered. This was it, the moment she had dreamed of. Perhaps, just perhaps, Ikon could see the greatness in her. As he took the cloth from her hands, his eyes held hers for a moment longer than necessary, and Afia felt the connection, a spark of recognition. "I would like to speak with you later, after the festival," Ikon said, his voice quieter now, almost as if he were speaking to himself. The hours of celebration seemed to pass in a blur as Afia's mind spun with the possibilities. Could it be that Ikon had taken an interest in her? After the sun set and the music softened, Afia made her way to the chief's compound, as Ikon had requested. There, she found him waiting for her by a large baobab tree, its gnarled roots twisting deep into the earth. He smiled when he saw her approach. "Afia, I wanted to speak to you about your gift. It is more than just beautiful, it speaks of a connection to the land, to the people, to the heart of this village. It is the kind of artistry I admire," Ikon said, his voice thoughtful. Afia felt a rush of pride. "Thank you, Prince Ikon. It is the work of my father